Hey, what's up? Welcome to Shoot the Messenger. I'm your host, Toby, and today we will be talking about the hottest trends, stories, and news that you need to know. Today, we're diving into the AI breakthroughs, political updates, and the latest tech drops, and everything that's gone viral, so stick around, because we got all the must-see moments for you today. So first up, let's talk about AI. Artificial intelligence has taken 2025 by storm. And just this week, a new AI model has been unveiled that could change the way we interact with everything from personal assistants to global industries. This cutting edge AI has been designed to enhance human creativity, helping artists and content creators push the boundaries of their imagination. But of course, it raises some big questions about the future of work and data privacy. What do you think? Is AI a friend or foe? Let me know in the comments below. Since the first time AI became a big subject, people have always had a little bit of concern about where it might lead to. I mean, we have people such as Elon Musk that have warned us from day one that it might become more powerful than us someday. AI is uncontrollable, but it has definitely been trained by humans, but we're not quite sure where we will end up on this journey. AI helps us with our everyday tools, our everyday ideas. It helps a lot of us non creative people become creative. It helps us with many things in our everyday lives, but we don't necessarily need it. Humans can do all that stuff themselves, but we seem to rely on AI nowadays to do a lot of that stuff for us. So, do you think at the end of the day, AI is just going to become more powerful than us and we will be just gone into obscurity? Or do you think that humans will win this battle? Really? Who knows? Now, on to political news. Now, shifting gears to political news, 2025 is already shaping up to be a critical year for the global leadership. U.S. President Biden kicked off the new year with a bold new policy aimed at tackling climate change, proposing a landmark Green Economy Act. Meanwhile, in Europe, tensions are rising as several nations navigate an economic crisis. With protests and mass demonstrations trending in major cities, political analysts are predicting that these movements could shift the balance in upcoming elections. Stay tuned because it's about to get real interesting on the global stage. Since I know absolutely nothing about climate change, I have my friend Casey here to help. Casey, why don't you come tell him a little bit about climate change?
What's up, Tobe?
What's up,
Thanks
Casey?
for having me.
So, me not being so into climate change, why don't you try to explain to me and everyone else a little bit like why this is an issue, why people think that, and why some people believe in this stuff, some people think it's a bunch of, you know what, like what would you have to say about that stuff?
I honestly think that's one of the main issues, is that there's just too many people thinking two different sides, when there's only one truth,
Hmm.
So that's the thing is it's like one side is right, it's not like there is climate change and there's not climate change. It's one of those things is right. And the thing that this is just my opinion. It's just obvious to me as far as the science. I travel a lot. I go and see the coral reefs. I go and do that, and seeing the difference from one time to being there to the next, and they're all dead, not some of them all dead. It's just so obvious to me being a naturalist and seeing it up front. And so it's like, I think that's the number one problem right now is too many people think different things. It's not an argument. It's our
Yeah.
home, and we just got to fix it. It's like, who cares if global warming exists or not? Our Earth is struggling,
Hmm.
and so let's just do what we can to fix those struggles. That's one thing we can maybe agree on. Huh?
Yeah. Yeah. What were we just reading earlier about the carbon emissions?
Yeah. So there's
2050, I believe is what they said. We have to bring the emissions down to a certain point.
to zero emissions. Yeah,
Yeah.
by
The
2050
net
we have to bring
zero.
it down to net zero emissions,
Yeah.
and that seems so impossible. I mean, that's not never driving a car again, but that's basically not that's taking out as much emissions as we're putting into the environment, you know, and that right there seems.
So do you see with that, do you think we're just gonna go full electric?
I think we're trying to go full electric. I think there's politics even involved in that, and
Yeah.
so You know, it's the gas. It's the stuff that they're not. You know, that's a big shift. We've been having gas and motor vehicles for first 50 years that we have been since the Industrial Revolution. So it's like,
Yeah.
it's a big shift going to electricity, and plus you're dealing with 8 billion people.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, climate change is always a hot topic for a lot of people. I mean, it's not like an abortion topic or anything, but it's
Yep.
definitely a big topic, and it relates to it in a sense where it's just opinion based by a lot of people.
Yep.
It's one person thinks this, the other people think that. You know, let's all argue over who's right. You know what I mean, that's
and that's
the
what we're
world for
worried
you.
about, man. That's
You
what
know
they
what I mean?
did. That's what the Easter Islanders did.
Yeah.
You know, they're the one little civilization of people that we can kind of refer as kind of a tiny little scale as what we're doing. You know, they were on an island like us in space, and they completely used their resources to the point of all that it took was bringing rats to that island, and it eradicated an entire population of humans.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same thing happening globally right now. It's like, because we're all arguing about what's going on and you know why, nobody's just paying attention to the big picture as far as like, what can we do to just make that shift? Because until we do, we're still going in the wrong direction.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate your 2 cents, man. That's definitely something I know nothing about. So
Yeah, I love those critters, man, and I try and hang around them as much as possible. And it just seeing the differences, even at my house, bro. We have millions of migrating waterfowl and stuff like that come through that I can remember when I was a kid. Huge flocks of shorebirds, everything like that. Nothing now.
Yeah.
Nothing. There's like, and it's just such a drastic change. Our whole yard is falling into the bay because of the bay is rising, you know.
So this kind of falls into the same category, but as far as like all these UFO sightings that we've had lately, so, and now they're saying that there's like aliens in the ocean, and we're hearing all these crazy things, right? Do you feel, as an animal expert, and I consider you an animal expert, as someone that knows a lot about that stuff, do you feel like, have you always kind of felt that way about those deep sea creatures? I mean, a lot of those are pretty alien-esque.
As far as that being what we're talking about, aliens in the ocean.
Yeah.
No, I think that those are just creatures that we haven't seen a lot of. They're alien to us. They're not alien to the planet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's deep. That's a long ways to go. So it's like, we've just recently figured out how to handle that kind of pressure. So that's why we're seeing these alien creatures for the first time. But I think that I don't think those guys are the ones flying these flying saucers in.
Of course, yeah.
You know, I think I don't know if they have a lot to do with it. I think that there's just a big picture that, you know, it's like every single person I talk to now is like, I just feel something big's going to happen. You know, it's like,
yeah,
every single person. So
it's like, and that's another topic. I mean, UFOs are another topic where it's like just opinion based. Some people believe that the UFOs are real. Some people believe that it's our own government. Some people believe they're coming from outer space.
Yeah.
It's just
something else to argue about.
Yeah, no one really knows. I mean, it's like religion, you know, we're just going to go in circles. It doesn't matter. Like I always say, it's weird to me when you have people that are like atheists, they don't believe in any God. Then you have people that are like Christians, and then you have like Muslims, and then you have Christians and Muslims that are like fighting over what the God's name is. And that's literally what it is to me. That's how I've always looked at it, is you both believe in a higher power, right? But neither of you agree on the names. You're like, oh no, it's Muhammad, or no, it's Jesus, or it's Allah, or it's God. It's like, dude, it's all the same, you guys. You guys are just giving it a different name. I don't understand what you guys are fighting about, right?
Thank you.
Like there's some people that believe and there's some people that don't. They don't have to go much deeper than that.
And some of us got scared away from religion because of how it was approached to us. Like that's the thing is I have been I was never taught a lot about religion. So I kind of had to make up my own, you know, and take what my friends were giving me and stuff like that. But then, you know, you get later on in life and you start running on instinct, and all of a sudden you're like, dude, there is something out there. You just instinctual. You know that there's some type of higher power. And so I call it the universe, because I got scared away from the word God.
Yeah.
But I'm the same way with you, man. I feel like it's all the same thing. All humans know there's something going on. We can either try to tell a story about it, and put everything together, or just know that there's something
It
bigger
feels a
going
little
on.
selfish to not believe in anything to me. It feels a little bit like, I mean, what? Like, am I giving myself all the credit? Like, where is this? You know what I mean? I got
Yeah,
dropped off on this rock one day with no information. That's what happened.
yeah,
They dropped us off on this rock and said, "Hey, good luck.
yeah,
Figure it out."
yeah,
No answers.
yeah.
And so we're all like going, "What the heck's going on?" And so everyone's trying to figure this out, but it's like it's that, the hamster wheel. It's you're not gonna,
Because
like, where is the answer at? What are you chasing?
we're trying to figure it out on a human scale.
Mm-hmm.
Humans on on the scale of things in the universe we're atoms, right? And so that's the thing, is like, for us to try and put human words to describe what's going on once we get outside this atmosphere, I think it's ridiculous. I think it's just, we were reading something the other day, me and my guru, and she was like, the reason why we don't know is because we're not supposed to, we can't comprehend. If these aliens were to come and say, hey, and drop it all to us right now, it might be so much information that it just literally makes our brains explode, because we've just been taught what we know. And what do we know? What we've made up.
Mm-hmm.
And from what we've seen. Everything's changing now, because when we were first Neanderthals and started telling stories, of course they're a lot different now, because we were not evolved. We didn't know nothing back then. But to think that we're so evolved now compared to then, in this whole time, is just ridiculous to me.
Well, it's weird to me because it feels like the more advanced, like, technology gets,
Yeah,
almost the more, it's going to sound bad, but it's like almost more dumb humans get.
Yeah.
It's like we're trading places. It's
Yeah.
like because I've watched humans do awesome things for so long. Like, if you watch, like, what was it, world's most awesome videos or whatever on, like, YouTube.
Yep.
Humans are incredible. They do the most crazy, incredible things that you've ever, like, I see things all the time on YouTube that I go,
I showed you the parachute thing. Remember?
yeah, how
Yeah.
do they even do that? Like, that's just insane. So when you see these things, it's so impressive to see humans raise the bar over and over again.
Yeah.
Like, every time, excuse me, every time we set a new high jump record, we break it.
Yep.
Every time, it's like, we just consistently do that with everything. We
Yep.
raise the bar. Every time we think something won't get broken, and that's the highest anybody will ever go,
Yeah.
someone does better.
Yeah.
And I think that is phenomenal of human beings. And so seeing technology become the forefront and put humans in the back is disappointing. As much as I think AI and all that stuff is so cool and stuff, it's
Yeah.
like we now live in, like, such a weird planet where it's like you either believe in, like, there's people that think AI, there's new religions that people are literally praising to AI.
Oh, no.
Yeah, they're treating it like God, AI gods. And so that to me is awful. But not only that, with the whole UFO things and all that stuff, all of this plays into belief systems.
Yeah.
And when we go and we start to, like, form our own belief systems, you can go online and create a larger movement with it, because we live online is different now. It's a
Yeah.
different world. There's access to everything now. And every time you think, oh, I'm the only person in the world that's like this, you go online, you find there's, like, mass people like you.
Yep.
So I mean, with that being said, bro, I guess what I'm getting at is I feel like we're at a point now in life where, whether it's UFOs you believe in, whether it's religion, whether it's AI and technology and all that, there's always going to be a human aspect to everything.
And an argument.
Right? And we always have to, like, appreciate the human aspect of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We're artists, so for us, we don't like AI just taking over the artistic side of everything, right? Because it's like we were talking about writing code. People work hard to learn how to write code. Now you go to ChatGPT and you're like, write me code. They write. It's like, cool. You know
That's
what I
most
mean?
of us don't think about, is the time and energy and honestly commitment that it took to learn. You know this now. To learn one way to edit a video
Exactly.
took me years and years and years, and now it's a button push with a new kid that's coming into my market, not
Yeah.
my market, but you
Yeah.
know, a market that I've been in for my whole life. Then he can do it with a button push. It's brutal to somebody like me because I had to learn it, but now it's like, but I can do that too.
Exactly.
So use that easy button and then move on to the next little creative thing that, you know.
Like, I love all the AI tools, but at what point am I going to regret it?
Exactly.
You know, like, is it at my own detriment? Like, what's the, you know, I don't want to, because this whole deep learning AI stuff is us teaching it. There's literally people all day long. I was talking about those click farms. They just train AI all day. They'll literally sit at a computer to get paid like fucking $2 an hour to train AI all day long.
Yeah.
And to me, that is crazy because at the end of the day, we're doing it. It's not like AI one day figured out how to be better or stronger than us. We literally are like, here's everything we know.
Yeah.
Right? And then it's going to go, going to turn into this big beast and we're going to not know what to do. And
it's like the Hulk.
Yeah. You know, and like I was telling you about that Chat GPT thing where they actually tried to escape.
Yeah.
Like I said, that's stuff you see in the movies. I mean,
and this is in the beginning. This is the very first little touch.
And it literally took, so it had the first model, the second model, the third model, the fourth model. The fourth model is like, these three models are weak. I'm going to destroy them. And then was like, not only that, I'm going to escape. I'm going to get out of here. And then starts cloning servers to try and get out of there. That is stuff literally out of a movie that none of us expected to ever happen. What if it does escape? So, I mean, you think escape, you think, what do you mean? Was it going to grow legs and run away? But like,
just make a robot.
No, it just,
escaping.
It just needs to get independent.
So,
you know?
Did you know that humans are the only species on Earth that do stuff just because we can?
Yeah.
Not because there's any other reason in the entire world, but just because we can. Take Jackass, for instance. Those guys do that stuff, not because there's any other reason in the world, but just because they can.
They can,
you know? We're the only species on Earth that does that. And that's why we've evolved to where we have. There's a reason why we're the only species that does that. There's a point in our history where we're evolving like everything else. And then all of a sudden there's this massive leap and we don't know why.
Yeah.
You know, our brains went transformed into these. But you don't see ducks sitting there staring at the moon, wondering about that moon. You know, you'd never see a duck laying on its back and trying to kick its feet in the air just because it can. And it wants to see what it's going to feel like, you know? So it's like...
Now, that being said, do you think animals, I mean, that is a crazy thing to think about because we sit around thinking all the time about whether there's a God or, you know, like where we come from. Do you think animals even think of that stuff?
They think, I want to live. How do I do that?
Yeah.
That's it.
It's like
That's what we should do.
I watched it was Neil deGrasse, I think, or Tyson.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? And I was watching it and I'll leave it at that. But anyway, I was watching something with him, right?
Yeah. And don't be talking bad about me.
I'm not. I didn't say nothing. I didn't say nothing.
Just
so he was saying, they were asking about dogs. And he said, why do you think dogs are the way they are? And I think he was talking to Rogan or whatever. And he said, what do you mean? He goes, dogs. Like, have you ever noticed that they're excited 24/7, that they're always like just rambunctious and just full of life and every second of the day? Have you ever wondered why? And he's like, I haven't. He's like, their lifespan is a fraction of yours. And they know that. So every day to them is like the last day for them.
Yeah.
They have a different mentality. They're not living for 100 years like you are. They have they know they have a 15 to 20. I mean, that's a long life for a dog, 15 to 20 years. And they're like, so they live every single day like it's their last day. They know that they're on a time limit. And he said, and that's what makes dogs act like every day means something so much to them.
It's weird, the reason,
right?
Because dogs are man-made.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you won't see a wild dog in Africa, which is where our dogs came from, acting like that.
Yeah.
Happy all the time, and you just behavioral patterns. You can see dogs do these things to do better things to get rewards, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get that in the wild. Nobody gets a reward. They just don't get their ass bit in the wild, and stuff like that, which is considered a reward. But it's like, I don't know. I mean, that's totally interesting because it's.
It is. I thought it was a weird perspective too, because I'm thinking, well, how do they know that?
Dogs and cats are man-made. That's
You
why I
know?
don't take anything into consideration that they do as far as the wild, because they act so much different than their ancestors that are right here.
Dogs, it is interesting. Dogs act like they owe us.
Yeah.
They really
We've
do.
trained them to
Yeah.
act like they owe us, because
Yeah.
that's why we did that. Same with horses and cows. It's like they stand there waiting for us to do something because they have to. They're in a pen, and they've been trained that they're going to get pain if they don't do it.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's interesting. Because when he said it, I was thinking in my head, like, I don't really know. Like, I've never really thought about it like that. I look at it more like they're just rambunctious. They can't help it. They're out of their minds.
Yeah.
They're like a ball of energy
Yeah.
in this little thing, and they don't even know what to do with them. Like my dog, I have a golden retriever. She's amazing.
Yeah.
But she drives people crazy because she's so dang happy.
We've driven all
I love
their
her
instinct
happiness, though. I really love her. Her happiness rubs off on me.
Yep.
And so when I come home, Layla makes me feel better. I like being around Layla.
Because you only
Right?
instill happiness in her.
Yes.
She only has a reason to be happy. She doesn't have that instinct that I got to go get dinner right now, so I got to go into mean mode.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's served to her. So that's why dogs are happy-go-lucky. They get their home, their dinner. They never get threatened to die. It's like they're a man-made creature that's happy all the time because we made them that way.
Yeah, yeah. They definitely rely on us too, quite a bit.
Oh,
like
dude.
Without us, they're in trouble. Yeah.
Put a puppy in the wild.
Exactly.
See how quickly we know what's going to happen, and then do the same thing with a wild dog puppy. It would be days difference. Just because it's like human baby and a monkey baby.
Yeah.
What about the aurora? There's more colors now. There's taller pillars now. There's more intense. I mean, there's people standing there seeing stuff with their naked eye that they've never seen in their life, because it's just, this is new stuff we've never seen.
Well, and you caught some pretty weird shots too, so.
And I got some stuff, now that everybody's looking up, this is the cool thing, I'm included in this. Now that everybody's looking up with their cameras loaded and just taking pictures all the time, I showed you what I got. There, you get the difference between a plane and a satellite on your pictures that you can zoom way in. Satellites are just a constant little line. Everything makes sense. Everything goes straight. Planes will go in a little bend. And then the other night, I'm going, and I see one of these little lines. I was like, oh, a satellite, but it's 3 times as long as all the other satellite lines, which makes no sense in the long exposure. And it makes a pinpoint turn, which means it was going faster than satellites and can turn on a dime.
Yeah. And with all the stuff we've been seeing
I'll give
lately,
you that picture so maybe you can put it up.
Yeah,
it's kind of incredible, man.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, you guys won't see what I see, because I look at these teeny little things there. But when you see it, it's a definite line that goes like this, and I'll put some other shots in there with it. It's cool. It's really cool, man. It's like, it definitely.
And what do you think? I mean, what do you think about all these drones and stuff like that? I call them drones because they say they're giant drones flying through the sky all over the place, and they keep seeing them everywhere. What do you think about that? Do you think that is just like?
Bro, we saw the other day how many deliveries have been made by that drone company.
Yeah, yeah.
With a good-sized drone that's going to look like those pictures in the air. It's like, yeah, there's companies out here that are delivering with drones now. We're going to start seeing them.
So what he's talking about, there's a new drone delivery company that actually called Zipline, which actually goes out, grabs your package, your food or your medicine or whatever. It flies to you, drops a zip line down like a little zip line, and it grabs it, and it's like that little car thing. They open that thing up, it's in there, and then it just hooks back on and goes back up into the zip line, and then that thing just flies back wherever it came from. But You know, we've discussed this before we saw this because and you were even saying, I don't know how they're going to fly that far, or how, you know, like they can only go, you know, you were like, there's a
across
certain,
the ocean. I don't know how they're
yeah,
going to
you were
do
like,
that.
there's certain places that I don't know how they're going to get there, you know?
I mean, it's 100% GPS controlled,
Yeah.
so it can do that. It's
Yeah.
just so coming from the drone world, anything commercial that I do, anything, you have to have your drone in the line of sight, or you have to have visual observers spaced out. Like I could fly mine 5 miles, but I would have to have a visual observer every
Somebody
time I
watching.
lost. Yeah, and
Yeah.
then they could pick it up, and we'd all have to have mics.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, they can do this, but they don't think of the small things. What about a kid flying a kite and one of these things is going? Yeah, they're going to
Yeah.
have things to dodge trees, but it can't dodge a kid's kite line. It's going to go up, zip, get in the kite line. The thing's going to come down and hit that kid in the face.
See, and that's what I was going to say. Like, I guess you technically, if it's GPS, you don't need to keep it inside if it already knows where it's going and it's going to come back. But what if something goes wrong?
Exactly.
Well, yeah.
I mean, all these drones, even the ones that I fly, they can fly their way home in the same way that they flew.
Yeah. Yeah.
When they get in trouble, they back out so they don't hit anything, and they know they're not going to hit anything. That makes sense to me, but it doesn't, you know.
And like you said, like, I mean, they were saying that these drones they're seeing are like size of SUVs. If they're really that big,
You can't tell what's perspective.
you know,
That's the thing. You
and but they're way up there, so
exactly.
if
But
they were too small, they would look tiny.
Exactly,
right?
exactly. Yes. And the one that you and I saw, there was a tiny one that went up into a little mothership that was impressive.
Yeah. Yeah, it was cool.
But still, even the size of that mothership thing, it was only this big, right?
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
3 times, 4 times, 5 times the size of most of my drones.
Yeah, normal drones.
And
yeah.
so people aren't used to seeing that kind of thing in the sky. So of course, I don't know.
I also thought it was weird that a lot of them were being seen in the same areas. Like they
The
saw
big
most of
city
them.
areas.
Well, New Jersey, like they were seeing a ton of them in Jersey, and they were like, "Why New Jersey?" They just, you know, and that's why, like,
package company is gonna want to deliver stuff there first.
and it totally could be. I mean, if we started seeing these things all over, people are gonna be asking questions.
For sure.
People aren't used to seeing drones flying all over the country, so they're gonna be like, "What?"
And humans just always go to worst case scenario.
And we've always said, like, if they were foreign, they'd shoot them down.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's why it can't be what people think they are.
It's not what people think. Our government is so far advanced and stuff that they would never let something like that happen.
Yeah.
If they have stuff to where everybody could shoot their nukes at us and we can, control systems where it's like that, there's no way these little drones are just going to fly over and be, nobody sees us.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. Yeah, I don't see it happening. I don't feel like it's any threat or anything like that. I think if anything, it's mind games, or it could be delivery. There's a lot of things
when you're dealing variables.
When you're dealing with like big business and rich people and stuff, you never know. A lot of stuff's distractions. You never know what anything is really that you're watching on TV. I mean,
it's
like
weird.
Remember,
you and I just said that this whole world is becoming fake.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's like like my son told me, he was like, he's in the Navy. He said, "Hey, we just announced that there was aliens in the ocean, and all anybody cares about is P. Diddy." You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Although, like, I was
that
like, wow.
blows my mind. I mean,
so that alone is like insane.
It's the explanation is why we probably aren't going to make it if we keep up this type of mentality. It's like we got to start thinking the same way. It's just, man.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, so our whole life we kind of go like, how come they don't tell us nothing? Mm-hmm. And then we don't listen. And then later they go, "Oh, I told you."
Yeah.
"Oh, you just weren't listening. We told you."
Oh, they're going to say we didn't tell you about Roswell. Yeah. No, we did. There's a video out there.
They'll go back and just play the clip.
Yeah. You didn't believe
the newspaper articles, whatever, and be like, "Oh, you just weren't paying attention." Did we put it out more than once? Nope. But we told you.
Why would we? Yeah.
We told you.
We don't need to burn it into you guys'
exactly. heads. Yeah. So they're just going to play the whole told you so game after that. So.
Yeah. No, that's conspiracy theorists, and then.
And I hate, real quick, even that, man, I hate that word.
I do too.
Because to me, conspiracy theorist was a word made up by people to like make those people not seem valid. To make the people
false.
Anybody that's nosy or finding out something they're not supposed to know, This is a way that we can make everyone go,
Exactly.
oh, they're stupid. They're conspiracy theorists. Yeah,
Karen,
you can't,
conspiracy theorist is the new
exactly,
Karen, right?
exactly. You
Yeah.
can't take them serious, dude. They're watching too much internet. Well, that's what I would say too if I didn't want to be exposed.
Keeps us dumb.
If I didn't want to be exposed and someone's like, hey, I found out what Toby's really up to, I'm going to be like, you're just a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah.
That ain't real.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to go this way and go, how'd they find out? You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, like, how are people finding out? So, it is what it is. We will always believe what we're told on the internet.
Yeah.
Not me.
Yeah.
But humans in general. That will always be the go-to for information. TV will always be the go-to for information. And no matter what, that will always trump what me and you say to anybody.
100%.
We can tell them 100% the truth, what we saw with our own eyes.
Yep.
The minute the news tells them different, we're lying.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter.
That's the thing.
You know?
When if these and I'm just putting this into an example, the auroras, if they really get as bad as a X3 storm or whatever, they've been saying this over and over. It can drop satellites out of the sky. It's happened before when we didn't have very many satellites. It's like when something like that happens and all of a sudden, you know, there's a lot of satellites out there and stuff just starts raining down like an apocalypse and people are going to go, oh, what?
Yeah.
And it's like, why are you acting so surprised? We've been saying this is going to happen. You know, like you said, man, the fact that people are paying attention to P. Diddy and not that.
Yeah.
Kills me.
It's weird. It's like people care about reality television more than they care about like threats to society.
Yeah.
So they'd rather watch Bad Girls Club than worry about like what's gonna happen to the whole planet.
Yeah.
It's just,
which is the only reason why we use the word dumb humans. I mean, come on.
Well, and not only that, like we talk about, even you, like you don't care about politics. A lot of people they don't really care about that stuff. So it's like trying to tell people like stuff sometimes it comes off as political. They don't really. You're like, you're not trying to be political. You try and tell somebody something, and they're like, oh, I'm not into the whole political space. And you're like, okay, I get that, but this is crazy. And I feel like it's something that might.
It's not that I don't like.
It might be something that affects you. You know. And I'm not saying talking about you. I'm saying the younger generation.
Oh no,
they don't care,
dude. I don't care,
and I don't even blame them for not caring.
I don't care, but it's not that I don't care. It's just that I don't care about what politics have become.
Yeah.
Politics have become this broad spectrum of everything on earth, and it's like war and everything, and it just completely makes things like a presidency so much smaller. You know, makes you not pay attention to things like a debate that we all should have been sitting in front of the TV like.
Yeah.
But instead we just argue about, oh well, he said this and he said this, and it's like, no, we need to just. Yeah, man, it's just frustrating.
Well, and it's someone like me too, because it's like, you know me, I don't believe in half the stuff I see. So like a lot of times I'll see stuff and I just like, that's fake. Yeah. That ain't even real. You guys are dumb for even believing that. But it's like, I can't prove it.
Yeah.
That's gut instinct for me. That's just how I feel.
Yeah.
I see something looks weird. I mean, in my opinion, Joe Biden was wearing a mask. Like, it depends on who you're talking to and what you're talking about. Like, it just is, everyone has their own opinions.
Totally.
Right? But if I was to tell people that he's wearing a rubber mask, right, they're going to be like, you're crazy. I'm like, for sure. But I still believe it.
Yeah.
It doesn't change my views.
Exactly.
100% I believe that. But that's just my opinion. It's meaningless. It doesn't go very far. It stays between me and my friends. I'm not going to change the world. I'm not going to, you know what I mean? Yeah. I'm not pulling strings in this mug. So at the end of the day, it's my opinion. It's like this big.
That's the answer to world peace right there. It's just, if we all realize that we all got a different opinion, but it's not worth killing each other over. It's not worth, doing whatever. Let's just talk about it.
Exactly.
Let's. I mean, that sounds so stupid and so easy,
it's it's the whole divide and conquer thing.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think that's all politics is.
Yeah.
Like Republicans, Democrats,
the power thing,
religion, all that stuff is literally just to make us disagree, not get along,
and distract us.
Yeah, and make us all just basically just not like each other. Yeah. And at the end of the day, I don't even think it's that bad. I think when you actually get to know people, you're like, wow,
Oh,
they're actually pretty nice, and people are nice back. It's just, and
the
they end up
con-
liking you a lot more than they thought they would have too. But you just, a lot of times, and I might be a good example of this. I mean, you might get yourself in a certain space around people that are way politically different, like they don't have the same views as you. I automatically feel a little weird about it now, but back in the day, I wouldn't have.
yeah,
So, 10 years ago, it wouldn't have bothered me. But I almost feel it would bother me now a little bit in that space because I'm afraid that there's going to be confrontation. When before, I never would have felt that way. I never
yeah,
would have felt like one side would be heated towards the other. I wouldn't have felt like there was any bad blood. I just felt
yeah,
like we had different opinions.
yeah,
Nowadays, I feel like in that space, something might happen
yeah,
because it's like one side's going to get too aggressive or too angry and too radical,
yeah.
and then you're like, dude, how do we even get here?
It's gone from a
How come we
debate.
can't just have conversations?
Yeah, it's
Like
gone
what?
from a debate to a war just instantly.
Everything.
You know,
hmm It's hard, and like we can sit here and talk about, you know, us, AI and UFOs and religion
the
and all this
climate,
stuff, and we environment, and
important
I don't
stuff.
believe in climate change like you do, right? And I can't say I don't
Don't say
believe in
that
it.
in front of me, man. I'm just joking.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say I don't believe in it. I
No,
don't
I
mean
know.
that. I'm ignorant about it. So that's what I meant was, but we can still have the conversation. Was what I was getting at.
Absolutely.
You can still have a conversation with people about stuff that you don't know anything about,
Yeah.
or you don't agree with, or you don't, and you can still have a decent. I actually hope people can change my mind. If I
Come diving with me.
yeah, if I don't believe in something, I hope that someone can just prove me wrong.
Yeah.
That's all. I'm not here to be right.
I hear you.
I'm not here to be right. I just need facts.
Yep.
I'm one of those guys where I kind of need some proof.
Yeah. But most people do, and that's why
So yeah,
they have to go there to see, and they either can't or they don't, or they won't. You know, it's just not. And so that's the thing. Unless you've seen those corals, the difference between those corals, unless you've gone on that manta ray dive in Hawaii, and were surrounded by 300 manta rays the first time you did it, and 6 the last time I just did it.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
heartbreaking, bro.
Yeah.
That's like mind-boggling. That's like, and dude, that's only in 15 years. In 15 years, it went from 200 manta rays to 3 on a dive.
What is that? What is the cause of that?
Over hunting, like they've hunted manta rays. They're still hunting them down in Mexico. When I was down there, they still catch sea turtles. You know, nothing against them. It's just they do it because they can, and because
Can you even eat sea turtles?
oh, they sell their eggs and they sell the meat of sea turtles for a divine
They do.
as a divine delicacy because it's so illegal. Because
Okay.
but it's it's those kind of things that we just kind of have to realize the things that we don't need anymore, the things humans don't really have to have. We need to just start cutting some of those things out, and that would do so much change.
So now for pop culture news. Of course, in pop culture, the world of fashion and social media is setting fire. New York Fashion Week just wrapped up, and the trends of 2025 are all about bold colors and sustainable fabrics. Over on social media, influencers shaking things up with new partnerships and collaborations that are trending hard. From high fashion moments to everyday style, it looks like 2025 is going to be the year of self-expression. Now, that is definitely the truth. In 2025, you can expect to see things that you've never seen before.
Oh,
Because I will say, in the last year or two, I have seen more unique. Like in fashion, clothes have just been out of this world. I just saw a girl the other day. Her hair was it was pulled back into like a giant bun, but it was a rose. It was a giant
wow.
rose. Her hair.
Like hair art.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I was like, wow. So, yeah. So, and I respect that. Like that's all that falls into the art stuff. And I think it's cool that we can get to a point where everyone's like so like innovative. But I'm afraid that we're gonna end up in a place eventually where I'm gonna be looking around me going, what the heck's going on? I'm gonna be wearing hoodies and sweats still. And people are gonna be wearing hats that are 10 feet long.
I don't know about that, because there's always going to be the people that like the street clothes. There's always going to be people that like the bougie stuff. But dude, I just like you said, I saw a kid went out. He bought himself a brand new $300 hoodie. It was I forget what the brand is. I probably shouldn't say what the brand is, but he bought himself a $300 hoodie, cut it, got some scissors, kind of did this really cool kind of wavy cut through it. went and got something else, like an old ass. It looked like a plaid carpet or like a paisley carpet or something like that. Took that, cut out the part to match that little part that he had cut out, put it on, and it was one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
Really?
It just looked like this, something that was done on purpose. But
Well, as soon as you said it, I was like picturing you could cut holes out, and then you could even wear a shirt under it, and it'll fill those
yeah,
holes. And I was like, oh, that's kind of like weird to think about. But yeah, I mean, fashion trends have always been a thing since you can go back to like the 30s and 20s and look
Yeah.
back, and they were dressing crazy. Like there was some people
that's coming back
there
now
was
too.
like the normal way of dressing that
Yeah.
kind of everyone dresses, and then there's always your like, your trailblazers that are people like they just don't like normal fashion.
Yeah.
They like to be weird. I mean, look at Lady Gaga. I mean, she might put her hair up, that's like freaking, like this, and and it's just all weird, and you're like, what is she thinking? But it's for them, it's about being creative and being innovative.
Not weird.
I just don't always think that stuff looks good is my problem, right? I'm more
Yeah.
I like things that look good. I can appreciate it.
Yeah.
But
I think a lot of it's shock value.
but yeah,
it's like,
but visually to me, I even wonder
no one looks
myself.
at it going,
I'm like, yeah, do you
"That's
like
so
that?
hot."
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
Are you wearing that because it's trend setting,
Yep.
or do you really like it?
making a statement.
Yeah, exactly. So, and in the fashion industry, Vogue and all that stuff, that's really what they're all about.
For
They're
sure.
about
Well,
that's
especially now, everything's kind of been done.
yeah,
So it's
exactly.
like,
They're
what do we
trying to
do
be
now? We'll
innovative.
break
Yeah,
the rules.
exactly. Yeah, make stuff
Doesn't matter if it looks good or not.
other people haven't made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not saying that they don't look good.
Yeah, no. So, yeah, and what do you think about all this P Diddy stuff, man?
You were telling me
Are
about
you-
that, man. I just, you know me. I don't stay up as close on that stuff. I'm more running around out in the woods when you're staying up on the news and stuff. So I don't even know what he did.
So basically, what happened was he got in trouble with the wrong people, and then they don't really know who called the cops on him, who sent the feds for him, right?
Big parties.
Yeah, but they don't know who sent the feds. The feds just one day kicked his door in, right? There's rumors. Like one of the rumors that I heard was Jamie Foxx actually went to a party at Diddy's, got assaulted by Diddy, ended up in a coma, almost died. They were saying that he got poisoned, and this is all alleged. And I next thing you know, Jamie started talking about it, and then Jamie on his new comedy special says himself, "I'm the one that called the cops on P Diddy." So,
oh man,
yeah,
that's bold.
Exactly. So some people are like, "Well, it's a comedy special. Is he joking?" No, I mean they do tell jokes. That's what they do, and so. But then a lot of people are like, "No, he's not joking,"
Yeah,
because all that stuff.
That's not funny.
All that stuff really happened to Jamie Foxx, and so that's why people are like, yeah. And what I thought was weird is when Jamie did get hurt and was in like fucking almost dead, no one knew about it really. Like I asked my wife was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I was asking friends, they're like, I didn't even know he was like sick or anything. I'm like, dude, he almost died. It's like no one had any idea. Jamie Foxx is an extremely popular guy.
Yeah.
So I thought it was pretty weird. But anyway, that was rumors on why the feds went over there or whatever, but they found like thousands of bottles of baby oil with GHB in it, right? And so they were like, he's literally got all these memes all over the internet, dude, that are baby oil memes now, and it's the funniest thing in the world. But some of the stories, but I will say, as funny as it is, nothing funny about the whole P Diddy thing. What he was doing to people is so messed up that if I would tell anybody, I would just watch this movie called Blink Twice.
Yeah.
It's just like that. And it's like you might be somewhere for 3-4 days and don't have any idea where you're at. You went over there to party, you had a drink. Next thing you know, 4 days later, you've been getting tag teamed for 4 days. Finally, you wake up, you don't even know where you're at, and they just kick you out. Yep, you go home. You're like, what just happened? Yeah. You don't remember anything. Your body's messed up. You don't know what's going on. And now, like I've heard other stories of one guy said that like he literally snapped out of it and turned around and P Diddy was on top of him. You know what I mean? So like, there's all these really bad stories of like him just drugging these people and doing whatever he wants with them. And then The minute he would drug them, he would film it and put
Which
you
is
on
always a bad
camera,
idea. If
and
you,
then he would extort them. So he's like,
oh,
because when these people are on this
I
ketamine,
didn't know that. So he was
yeah,
using it as like a leverage.
yes,
What?
that's how, yeah. So on everybody, so they couldn't say anything about it. They couldn't tell on him.
No,
He's like, I have
that's
footage.
scandalous.
He's like, I have footage right here of you willingly participating because they're on ketamine, and on ketamine, it looks like you're awake and participating, but you're out of it. You're not there.
But
So on video, it looks like you're participating. It looks like you're awake.
the thing that I don't understand, or the thing that I do understand, the feds don't just figure out something's going on and then bust you. They go in, they do a long investigation on you.
Sure.
So they knew this has been going on. They have to see all that stuff for a long time to know that they can even go in,
Yeah.
nail you, and not have to worry about you getting out of it.
So the rumors were when the feds originally kicked his door in, took him away, went back to raid his house, was they were removing their own footage from the parties they've been at. And they went in to get rid of all their own stuff that he had on them. Right? And so yeah, it gets deep, dude.
Yeah,
And
that's,
so
that's deep.
That's deep.
And that's doing nothing for my paranoia. So let's just move on to the next topic.
yeah, so hey, this is all legend hearsay from the news.
Oh, I hear you. I love
But,
info like that, man. Give it to
hey,
me.
don't shoot the messenger. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But honestly, I just feel like I'm glad the dude got locked up. It's he belongs there. It's weird to me that there's any kind of movement that's like free Diddy, like that stuff.
There's a free Diddy movement.
That stuff. Oh yeah. I even made a short on my channel, and people were commenting saying free Diddy, like you're a dirtbag. You don't know nothing about him. Blah blah blah. I'm like, wow, there's people out there that stick up for P Diddy, huh? So I mean, to each their own, but it doesn't make me look at you in any
They're
kind
still
of light.
stuck in the 90s.
Yeah.
When,
yeah, exactly.
when his last good
yeah
album came out.
yeah,
So
yeah, they're Biggie Small fans.
there.
But
West Coast.
yeah,
East Coast.
yeah. But anyway, he's right where he needs to be. My prediction with that whole thing is it's going to be an Epstein thing. They'll end up letting him go. Fake his unaliving is the word I'm supposed to use on YouTube, and then
Unaliving.
yeah,
That's right. We talked
yeah,
about that.
he's gonna unalive himself in prison, but he's actually they're gonna let him go. He's gonna go to a different country, whatever. And it's like I was just, what I just read about yesterday. This is kind of off topic, but interesting. Is witness protection programs. We've had 19,000 people in witness protection. We have 100% success rate. Nobody's ever been exposed in witness protection in the history of mankind. Isn't that crazy? And we made that law.
Oh, really? Like nobody's found somebody once you
Ever.
go into witness.
Never.
That's cool.
So, yeah.
Well, I mean, that makes sense.
I'm like 100% because
probably on the moon, bro.
Well, so they made it because it was an organized crime thing.
Yeah.
So the mob was often people. So people that were afraid of the mob were in hiding, and that's how this law came about.
Yeah.
So now they have, and the reason I was reading about this is because of the true crime thing that I've been following. I think that's where he is, right? And I'll explain more off camera about that to you, but that is, in my opinion, where our buddy is. But
our buddy. Oh, that buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Not really our buddy, but you know who he is. Mm-hmm. So anyway, so I just thought it was interesting because they give you a new name. They move you to a different area. They give you a completely new identity. They give you money for 6 months to survive on.
Guarantee there's face-altering surgery.
Then after 6 months, you're allowed to go back. They don't want you to. They even said in the thing I read that they always advise against it, but you're allowed to go back to your life. They just don't want you to because they know that you're obviously in danger for a reason and that you probably shouldn't go back there. But with that being said, they still have 100% success rate.
Will they continue to protect you?
And I find that interesting.
Say, no, I just want you to.
I don't know. I just thought it was interesting because I'm like, how are So I guess this is what I'm getting at. So like, out of a lot of the true crime stuff I follow, these people that aren't found, I feel a lot of them are in witness protection,
Oh
because
yeah,
if you were to go to the police and say, "Hey, is my husband in witness protection?" The police don't have to tell you. They can't tell you. It's confidential.
for sure.
And you would think, oh no, they'll tell your family. Nope.
That's where that 100% success rate comes
Exactly.
from. Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. It's 100% police confidentiality, no public records to it whatsoever, and they're not allowed to speak on it. So it's completely secret and no way to find out if you're not in on it. You know what I mean?
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, you'll never know. So
How do you
yeah.
sign up for that?
Yeah, I know. It's pretty interesting. I just never knew much about it, I only brought it up because the P. Diddy thing
Yeah.
reminded me of it, because I was thinking the P. Diddy might, end up in witness protection or something, and you never know. Like, it's just, once these people disappear, you're not going to find them.
Yeah.
And if they say they're dead, they're dead.
Yeah.
Know what I mean? So you're not. It has nothing to do with you. So.
Since we're talking about pop culture and stuff like that,
Yeah.
this is interesting to me. What do you think about old music and new music?
Mm-hmm.
Think about the ones that you consider oldies and goodies that we grew up on.
Mm-hmm.
The ones with real lyrics, the ones with like deep stuff that people were going through, blah blah blah. Do you? And I'm asking you because I don't keep up as close on this. Do you see as much of that and like potential of that old good music and like, but in a new age aspect? Do you see that still going, or do you see the same thing that I see, which is like TV and movies? They're just remaking stuff and they're doing whatever because they don't have that freaking, it's almost like everything's already been done, or our creative evolution has just stopped. I don't know.
Well, I got a few things to say about that. So, yes, I do think that music has gone like downhill. I feel like, back when me and Big Smoke years ago were first found out about autotune, and Terry's had released it. It had been out for a month. It was brand new. No one ever heard of it. We didn't know how to use it, so we would just put it on, and then we'd put on our vocals, and it would make us sound like robots. And I said to my buddy Smoke at the time, I said, why don't we throw this on like choruses or something? And he said, because that sounds dumb. It sounds like robotic, and no one's gonna like that, dude. And I go, I don't know, it's got a unique sound to it though. He's like, no. And so I'm like, okay. So he laughed at that. I said, no, we're not gonna do that, right? Next thing you know, autotune takes over the world pretty much and becomes the next sound. And I only bring it up because it's weird that I even had that conversation with them about doing that. And then years later, it becomes a thing. Well, with that being said, it's a blessing, because to me, that very same tool is what ruined music as a whole. So,
It's an easy button for a voice.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, kind of. And so the one thing about autotune that people don't understand is autotune is a singer's tool.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can sing an A really well and say you're hitting here, it's just going to tweak you here and make you perfect.
Yeah.
But if you are trying to sing an A and you don't know how to sing, you're here, and it's going to pull you all the way up here.
Use as an example.
It's going to make, this is everybody though.
Yeah.
This is every rapper you listen to on the radio. Everybody.
The only reason I'm saying this is because I actually got one of these autotune machines and thought I was a real singer, and we were performing, and I made a damn fool out of us because I thought I was hitting the notes, and they were like, what are you? I'm like yodeling on autotune. So bad. Sorry, I had to.
So it basically corrects the note to a point that it has to stretch so far that it becomes robotic. It's doing too much work, right? So next time you hear someone that you're like, wow, they have a really good voice with autotune, autotune's not supposed to sound like that. Now, are they doing it on purpose now? Yes. Okay, so it's definitely different. It's not exactly what I'm saying. A lot of people definitely know how to use it in different ways now. It's become a a tool,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So with that being said, I feel like yes, lyrics, music's been dumbed down, autotune's hurt it, all that stuff. Not only that, AI being able to make a beat in 5 seconds now is just stupid.
Yeah.
And like we just live in such a different world now. I mean, good example. When I used to make beats back in the day, people were like, damn, drum, you know how to make beats? That's tight. That was valuable. People thought it was tight. They were like, dude, there's not many people that know how to do that.
Yeah.
Now everyone does. They can just go on YouTube and download one or buy one for $25. It sounds great.
Yeah.
Like they're all over the place and they're good. Like I'm not even hating. A lot of
Yeah.
them are really good.
Yeah.
So I think that with all that and the saturation, it's just gone downhill. Hip hop music especially hasn't fucking billboard in 2 years. It's just
I'm so sorry,
it's
man.
done.
That sucks. Because I remember when
It's
you
done.
when I was doing
So,
hip hop with you,
Yeah.
there was some really good hip hop out. You know, it's kind of like
Yeah.
we were there immersed in that, and I just don't see any of it anymore. And I
Exactly.
can't just blame it on the fact that I'm not as involved in the scene. You know.
Yeah, and the fact that people don't like the music nowadays,
They're not putting a care
it just
into
doesn't
it
even. Yeah,
and
exactly.
work into it. They're letting
Exactly.
AI do it.
Exactly.
You know.
Yeah, exactly. It's like when I'm talking to like a rapper or something, and I'm like, oh, I don't even need to write. Well, you should. That sounds like crap. It's like someone's like, oh, I can either paint this picture and take my time and make it look really good,
Yeah.
or give me 2 minutes to draw it. I guarantee you, the one he takes his time on is going to look much better than the one that he spent 2 minutes on.
Yeah.
And so we just have to know our worth. We can't put everything on, we can't get lazy with it. And we're at a point now where, as a genuine hip hop head, as someone that everyone that knows me knows, I'm just bleed music, bleed hip hop.
Yeah.
I'm sick of it myself. I've been listening to country music lately, dude. I
can't believe you said that in front of me.
I said that on camera.
I know.
I don't even.
Not hating on country music.
I don't exactly. That's
Joking.
what I'm saying, man. I love good music.
Yeah.
I don't care what kind it is.
Yeah.
Hip hop has drained me.
Yeah.
Because we're just at a point now where it's a bunch of just ignorant little kids. And once I figured out that, like, even the tattoos, teeth were fake, the tattoos are fake, the dyed hair was fake, that they're going on Instagram and that the money that they bought off Temu was fake, that they're holding to their ear. Once I figured all that out, I go, dude, what is going on? And like, I always knew that there was, the fake it till you make it stuff. I just had no idea how bad it was.
Mm-hmm.
I had no clue.
And I know what's going on. Everything's going to electronic music.
Look at the Island Boys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you know who they are?
You
they're
showed
like,
me.
They're like freaking idiots with like hairs that goes like this.
Yeah.
And they're just total idiots. But they're such idiots, they went viral.
Well, but now they're taking the rappers and singers and stuff like that and putting it in with drum and bass and putting it in with this and throwing in live instruments and stuff. And I feel like, not that I'm biased, I feel like that's where the evolution of music is going, to the electronic side of things. Can you argue with me?
I felt like when you first showed me dubstep,
yeah,
I genuinely thought that was gonna make waves, and it did. It did. It had its moment. It made waves, but it definitely made almost like made currents instead of waves, because it showed up.
Electronic has a hard time grabbing.
Took some, and it turned heads.
Yeah,
I think Skrillex was a big part of that. I mean, as far as getting it, I know he was the mainstream part of it.
And non-commercial.
Yeah. So
growing up a raver, I was having this conversation the other day. We used to go to raves where you'd get to the rave by following a flyer to an address. Mm-hmm. You'd get in the back of a Ryder truck, and that Ryder truck, you'd be in there with 30 other ravers, and that Ryder truck would take you to a undisclosed location, and they'd drop you off there. So far away from your car, so far away from anybody that can help you. One I remember is in the woods. They just took us out to a random spot in the woods in Auburn. I was like, I didn't even know Auburn had woods. And so we're out there, and all of a sudden there's this huge field in the woods, and we're all, woo! And then all of a sudden helicopters come in, and we're like, a little out of it. So we're like, yeah, hi, helicopters, not knowing that we were in trouble, but it's like, The underground scene was when I felt like it was real. You know, it was like having to get to raves that way. You know, these new DJs coming out, stuff like that, and then stuff started to go commercial, and it's like everybody started getting mad at the guys, the Paul Oakenfold and stuff like that went commercial with it, and so it's just kind of doing the same thing as a lot of
Yeah,
the music. It's
and you know, it's surprising to me that it doesn't really go mainstream because I mean, you go to the club, it dominates.
Yeah.
Like when you like people aren't even
in
trying to
Europe
listen to
it
hip hop.
dominates.
They're really not even trying to listen to hip hop
Yeah.
at the club. You want to dance.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's trance and EDM and house, but you don't hear any of that on the radio.
Ever.
And that is, I never really thought about that, but that's interesting that it's dominating spaces,
It's only on the radio in Europe.
but it's not getting any like mainstream push.
I'm the only dude on the road with my head like,
Yeah.
and people are looking at me like, how much coffee did he have? And I'm like, you know, but it's like I just feel that music, and that's why I've never, you know, it's always new to me. You know, it's just like that's.
Well, it's like as much as I'm not really into like, you know, like dance music so much, I do sometimes like even listen to my own music, but dance sounds boring. So I can kind of get the you know, if you like high energy stuff, then you know you're gonna listen to someone like Taylor Swift or whatever and be like, that shit just kind of sounds blah.
I still think we'll make another shot.
It sounds blah to me, you know. But then you hear this other stuff, and it's see. So I remember the first time you showed me dubstep. I remember the exact words I said to you was like, "That's controlled chaos."
Mm-hmm.
And controlled chaos to me was like,
which is the perfect way to describe it, man. Because it's like that's what's in my brain when that's going on. I'm just like,
it's nuts. It was so nuts that I was like, dude, how are they keeping it so tight? Like, and produced so well.
Yeah.
When everything's wow, 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 like going crazy. Yeah. And I'm like listening to how it's compressed. I mean, just the producer ear in me is going, damn, this is impressive, dude. Yeah, this is impressive. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's weird to me that it never forwards with like hip hop. Like I figured at some point you wanted to do that back then. You even said that to me. Like,
still,
dude,
I want to do that right now.
You're like, there's no.
You and I, with our powers combined, man.
You're like, there's no cross between like dubstep and rap. It's like no like dubstep rappers, you know. And I'm sure there is, but it's definitely not a category.
No, in Europe, you know, they're just MCs over here. Over there, there's dubstep rappers, and it's the sickest stuff I've ever heard.
Yeah, I remember you showed me some guy named Scooby Doo or something. You really like some Scooby guy.
Scooby Doo,
something like that. Yeah, he was a rapper that you showed me on dubstep one time. Scooby something.
MC Skibbity, bro.
Oh, okay, my bad.
I'm so mad at you. Bro. You just did that in public.
Sorry, Skibbity Doodah.
Skibbity. MC Skibbity.
MC Skibbity Doodah.
You're pissing me off.
Okay, anyway. So, enough about dubstep. Enough about P. Diddy.
Yeah.
Because that's all the pop culture stuff we got to talk about today. Because honestly,
it's depressing.
Well, yeah, and these dudes are all just kind of at this point in life, man, like, you know, the movie stars, the musicians, those aren't the people we should even be looking up to anymore, dude. They're all even bad examples. Yeah,
being a Swiftie,
a lot of them are just
spend $2,000 to see the artist.
That's right. That's what you were saying.
I don't understand about that, bro.
Yeah. So
like, how does that allow the normal kid to go see Taylor Swift if they start at $1,200?
I wouldn't pay $100 to go see Taylor Swift. Literally, not. I wouldn't pay $50, but that is me because I'm obviously not a Taylor Swift fan.
Is there an artist you would pay $1,200?
No, that's a good way to put it. Because, like, let's say I'm a big NF fan.
Yeah,
I would not pay $500 to go see NF. I wouldn't pay $200. Now, maybe if it was like Madison Square, something like a once in a lifetime type gig, I'd be like, okay, I'll do this one time type stuff. But no.
No one's got money to burn like that. It just, in a world like it is today after COVID and all that says to me is she just cares about rich people. And I'm sorry, but it's true. $1,200. Tell me where that starts as a kid in a classroom. Which kid that you're in a classroom with, which one of them is going to the concert?
Yeah.
One. Yeah. And that's Molly that lives in the $1 billion neighborhood that, you know, you're not even allowed in. It's like, I just don't understand that. It cancels out.
It's her. I just read an article about her talking about how that people shouldn't wear expensive watches, that you have better things to spend your money on, right?
Oh,
She
like
literally,
a concert.
$32,000 watch she had on her wrist as she was saying that. And I'm like, listen, I know you got money, but you act like somebody.
You have way more influence than you have
Yeah,
money.
exactly. You act like somebody you're not.
Yeah.
And that is the problem that people have with her.
Yes.
Is she seems to just grasp onto anything that's popular, even at the whole football thing. Like, she started showing up at every Kansas City Chiefs game in the little box up there. And people don't want to see Taylor Swift in a football game. People are literally tuning in to watch football. And the whole time they're like, oh, look, Taylor Swift, Taylor Swift, Taylor Swift. People are like, we don't care about Taylor Swift. We just want to see if Mahomes is going to throw a touchdown pass. That's all we care about. So she just seems to kind of butt her head in a lot of places. And she hasn't had the best track record lately because she is. I watched the thing a long time ago, Case. They asked two of the biggest record label owners on the planet. I think it was Lucian and one other guy, and asked them, if you could sign one artist, if you only got to sign one artist to your label on this whole planet, who would it be? Out of all generations. And they both said Taylor Swift.
See, well, and
That's how big she is. Just to put it in perspective, how popular and famous
I feel
she
like
is.
that's more trend speaking than okay, here's the thing. I don't think that Taylor Swift is untalented at all. I think she's extremely talented. I just
cute. Yeah.
Gorgeous. She's beautiful. You know,
her music's cute.
Yeah, she's very, you know, girl power and has young girls just really thinking positive, and I love that about her.
That's fine, yeah.
The only thing I have a problem with is that $1,200 price tag.
Yeah.
Why? Yeah. It's like, you don't need that money. You
Yeah.
don't need that money. They do.
Well, if
they want to grow up and be like you, they need that money.
I just looked at her net worth yesterday. It's like $150 million. I'm like, wow.
That's it? She makes that at one concert.
But yeah, but she's the artist. She don't make any money.
Oh, yeah.
So that's actually a lot of money for an artist, because artists don't make any money. The labels do. They make more than that every single time she drops a song.
She makes a couple bucks.
Yeah, every time she drops a song, they make more than that. Like, they make a few $100 million every time.
Yeah,
and that's her whole net worth. So that just tells you,
wow,
they're paying her pennies. Yeah, but that's how the labels work, kids. You ever want to be on a record label and be a big music star?
There's a lot of paychecks involved.
Yep.
Yours is going to be divvied up between
you just got to remember.
Yep.
You're not the money, they are.
If you make it to the money, that's if you get that far. So, you know, always have a backup plan.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's not like you think.
But it's not as easy as the tubers make it.
But good luck. Yeah. Exactly. It's like we all want to make that much money, but I mean, we got to be realistic.
Got to have money to make money, right?
That's right. So today's tech news, we're going to talk about drones. On my left here, Casey knows a lot about drones, so Casey's going to fill us in about some of the new stuff that have been happening in the drone world lately.
The cool thing is, one of my claim to fame is actually drones, man. I was one of the very first drone pilots. I had the very first license that they put out, that most of the drone pilots didn't even know that there was a lot more to that very first license. Like, you actually had to have a pilot's license, and so we just thought we were doing it right. You know, there's so many rules, so many regulations, everything.
So people were just flying drones, didn't even know they need a license, probably, right? People just going and buying
in the beginning until they started popping people, you know, because the reason why the licenses came through is because dude landed on White House lawn. There's two events. Dude landed on White House lawn, and another dude flew in a national park and hit a goat in the face.
Wow.
And so both those dudes messed up everything. So then the FAA came in, set all these insane rules, and also made it so we have to, as a drone pilot, get the same license as a recreational plane pilot, which is like those ultralights and stuff. So I have to know about METARs. I got to know about TAFs. I have to know about weather. I have to know about everything a pilot has to know about. 60% of the stuff I will never need.
Yeah.
That's being generous, 60%, you know? So the thing is I was really lucky getting into the drone thing, because I was one of the first, and I've gotten to see the evolution of them. And so it's the thing that I don't like about it is everybody hates drones now. You know, they hate the word drone, because it's either something that's going to kill you or something that's going to come up and look in your bathroom window when you're
And that's what I was gonna say. What do you think it is that people don't like about drones? Do you think they just think they're
stigma.
invasive?
It's stigma. Yeah, it's because of the fact that it's the same thing. Humans do stuff because they can. They fly up and look in somebody's window because they can. Why would you ever do that? But so the second that happens, it's worst case scenario. That's what everybody's doing with a drone. I was going out on real estate jobs years ago and having people run out of their house screaming at me because they saw my drone in front of their house and they were drunk, obviously, but they saw my drone in front of their house. They saw me looking in their window and they want the police here instantly. And I had to deal with that over and over and over again. It was like I went from feeling almost like doing this new evolution of the cameras and stuff, to all of a sudden being hated instantly because of the stigma that they were getting of war and because they were being so intrusive.
And how many drones have you gone through?
12.
And
Not
it,
that I'm counting.
and when this happens, is it because you lose transmission? Is it because you hit something? Like, what's the most common way that you would like
I haven't lost a
lose
drone
your
in
drones?
3 years.
Okay.
If that tells you anything. And I don't think
Yeah.
I'll ever lose one again.
So you think it's just part of learning?
It is part of learning.
Okay.
If you
Yeah.
Kids, if you want to fly drones, you're going to crash them. That's it.
Yeah.
Or you're not going to be a professional.
Yeah.
It's just, it happens. It's user error. Almost always. I've had a flyaway before that was GPS, but it was because I didn't set it up right. It was like every single time it's been user error.
So when it flew away, did you find that or did it just take off?
I found 2 of them that did the fly-offs, and
Yeah.
one of them I didn't find because it's
Yeah.
in the ocean.
Wow. Okay.
Just trying to chase a surfer.
Because remember, I told you I was watching that one where they were following those cars. It was like NASCAR and the turbulence and stuff, dude. Out of nowhere, he just flying out of nowhere, dude. His thing just went boom, flying out of the stadium.
Yeah.
It just took off, and he was like, "Oh no!" and he freaked out. But like I said, he had like returned to home or something, and it just saved him.
See, that's the thing.
Saved it.
When you're doing FPV though, so that's
Yeah.
the thing that people don't understand is they think drones are this big encompassment of everything. And FPV is so much different than the drones as far as control, as far as the shots you're going for, as far as there's no GPS, there's none of that involved. There's no safety,
Yeah.
right? So you're just kind of at the mercy of your thumbs.
Mm-hmm.
And those things go 100 plus miles an hour. And I've been in situations where just messing around, I'm going 100 miles an hour, kind of showing off for people, and you do a flip and all of a sudden you don't wind up the way that you thought you were, and you hit that zzz, and it's coming at something at 100 miles an hour and it will kill somebody. And you don't think about it until that moment comes. And when that moment came, that I was like, I came so close.
Yeah.
It would have ruined my life forever.
Wow.
Easily. Because I was trying to get footage so I can show people, blah, blah, blah. So I was going in, I'll do this for free. It's stupid.
And didn't you just say they had an accident recently, like at New Year's or something?
And so here's the thing, they're doing these drone shows.
Yeah.
And the first one I ever saw, I'm like, that's a liability. I don't want to ever do that. What if those come raining down on people? And of course, I think there's been quite a few now, but recently there's been 2 where malfunction, the drones all lose whatever's going on the computer, and those things are all just little missiles. And they go like this, all the lights go off and they go zzz, and there's crowds watching, and they're going into chaos because there's missiles coming. One hit a kid, boom, right in the chest and gave him heart problems. You get heart problems from getting hit in the chest, that's a severe hit. You know what I mean?
That's crazy. Yeah.
And then we just had one in Seattle go bad.
Oh, wow.
These aren't things that are small things. If these things go bad and all head towards the crowd, those are all 4 propellers on each one. One will take out an eye. It's just like the damage that could do is terrifying to me.
Do you think they'll ever ban them? You think they'll ever become a problem?
When too many of that happens,
That's what
and
I'm
when
thinking.
the first person does get killed, they will never do that again. And you can't plan for that to not happen.
Mm-hmm.
It's still AI. It's still a computer.
Anything can go wrong. Yeah.
Anything can go wrong. So it's like,
I mean, sometimes when you're using your computer, it just shuts off for no reason. You don't know why.
Yeah.
It just does. You know what I mean? So, things happen. You can't trust computers.
But, and then there's, like you and I were saying, they're flying those drones over concerts and stuff up around the DJ's face and then back. That is the sickest shot I've ever seen in my life. So when you put danger in that shot, I'm even like, well, I mean, I'll
And the
do that.
people in the crowd don't even realize
They
there's any
have,
danger, right?
well, I mean, they're ravers, so they're like, yeah,
Exactly.
is that a
Yeah.
UFO?
Yeah.
No, but it's like they have no idea the damage that that thing would do to their face
Yeah.
if it hit
If
them
it hit
full
'em.
blast.
Yeah.
They easily death.
Yeah.
And nobody thinks that a drone could kill me, but
Yeah.
dude, it's easy.
Exactly.
Especially mine. Mine's like the one that I'm evolving from. It's just a brick, you know, and it's meant to be that way. So I can hit a wall, bounce off, and still set it there, and then take off again, and it's gonna fly. But
Yeah.
it's terrifying what that could do to somebody as far as, you know, damage. So
I mean that's the downfall, but I think the plus side of drones is definitely pretty awesome,
it's amazing.
right? Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, they're pretty like you see some of these Dubai shots and some of the stuff people are doing, and you're like, dude, that's just and you said there's no drone laws out there, right?
In Dubai, yeah. So anyone can get the feeling of one of those close proximity wingsuits.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone can have that feeling, because to be able to fly to the top of the Matterhorn, shoot direct vertical, and you're dodging little branches that are coming off the wall is one of the coolest perspectives. But I mean, you're literally in that drone. Every single time I've done it 100 times, every time you dive straight down something, you shake so hard, your butt puckers, you're just like, because it's just so much is going on. You have $2,000 in your hands that if you wreck, but you're also watching the sickest thing you've ever seen in your life.
So for people at home, why don't you explain like what the difference is between like an FPV drone and like a regular drone?
Let's show you guys. I know we're going to put a clip in here. So,
yeah.
So here's one. This is just kind of the regular drones. This is the drone that these are the shots that everybody gets, you know, the nice stable, you know, everything like that. Those are completely controlled by GPS. Now this is FPV. This is completely controlled 100%. I'm controlling
first person video.
First person view. Yeah.
View, okay.
It's the same thing as the video games, you know, first person view video games. You've got the gun, you're like this.
It's like Oculus.
Exactly.
Got the headset like an Oculus.
Yep.
Yeah.
The second you go into that, everything speeds up. Everything, there's no safety buttons. There's no return to home. There's no anything. It becomes a whole new ball game. There's so much more excitement and adrenaline involved. And I mean, you can see this footage. It's like, I can literally be a half a foot off of the mud going 100 miles an hour. And then, you know, shoot 300 feet in the air in 1 second and do the best backflip I've ever done, and then shoot right back down to the mud. It's like, there's no way on earth to experience that but FPV.
Yeah.
It's so sick, bro.
So have you flown any waterfalls or anything?
Oh yeah.
Have you?
So many over in Hawaii. I was flying waterfalls over there. There's one shot that I'm trying to get. You can make water stop. You can do it's like a matrix effect where you go over with the water droplets, and the second you reach the exact same speed, everything stops around you. And it's the coolest. I've seen it a couple times. A couple boys nailed it, man. And it's just like shots like that make me giddy. It's like, if I could get something like that, man, it's getting up in the wave with the surfer. You know, these shots that AI is not going to have. AI isn't going to be able to touch some of those FPV pilots. I showed you that.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Like,
commercial.
Is there going to be a point where, because they kind of do fly themselves now, but I mean, how can you incorporate AI into them more than they already have?
I don't think that's possible. You know, I mean, you could do like one of the easy flying ones to. I just don't know. That's scary to even think about. Don't put AI in a drone, man. Please, Elon, leave him alone.
It starts talking to you. You're like, okay, buddy, that's enough. Just fly.
I just built myself a laser beam.
I cloned another one. That's funny. Yeah. I am now you. I control myself. So